Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn show, man. Today is the 31st of January, last day of January, and then we'll be into February from tomorrow. It's not the biggest slate in the NBA for today. I think it's 6 or 7 games on. I think it's 6 games on for today, but we will jump into them. We'll dive into them and see if we can find some winners. Always start the show off with a quick recap. Starting to turn things around a little bit. 2-0 day yesterday. We had a Toronto team total over, which started off really slow, but they got the job done against the Orlando Magic yesterday. I think I gave you guys 108.5 yesterday. I told you I like that on the show. I ended up betting a half because I like to wait and get the worst of the line at times. But they got there, and then the other play was on Detroit first half. They got the job done, full game as well yesterday. Nice little bounce back spot after losing in Phoenix the night before. So 2-0 day yesterday. That's a nice little recovery from when we were in a big slump earlier this week. I think I had lost 5 or 6 bets in a row. So 2-1 day the day before that as well. So things are starting to get a little bit better. Hopefully you guys found some ways to make some money. Let's get into the slate after I go through a couple comments for today. Algina says, good morning, Chris and chat. Cleveland and Utah suck. Let's find some bangers today. Yeah, I almost got there with Cleveland. I'm glad I did. They got punked last night by Dylan Brooks and the boys, man. Again, Dylan Brooks and the boys get the job done last night. Glad I stayed away from that one. Brian says, good morning, Chris. Glad to see you doing a show. I want to take the Hornets plus the points. What do you think? We shall talk about it. A new name here. Denver Louis says, got Hornets in a teaser +6 in a game. +6 in a game over 220 for plus money. Okay. What's up, Real Talk? What's up, Mark? Hope all is well with you. Brian says, yes. Good day yesterday. Make 2 wagers. Thanks for the handicap. Glad you cashed both of those, Brian. Glad you cashed those. All right, so let's jump into it for today, man. Jackson also is AI Sports Betting Tool. If you guys are new to the show, there's a link in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. To save yourself some time, help with player prop, sides, totals, team totals, whatever it is, insight, injury implications, all that type of stuff. Link is in the description. Jackson had a 2-0 day yesterday as well. Jackson gave you guys Celtics -10.5. They got the job done against the shorthanded Kings. And then the Knicks -the 6.5. And they absolutely obliterated the Portland Trailblazers yesterday. So 2-0 day for Jackson yesterday. I wanted to kind of keep the prompt the same thing. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but yesterday the prompt was what are the 2 best, not 2 best, but it was analyze situational advantages in scheduling spots for the NBA and provide 2 best bets based on situational advantages, rank them in order of confidence. So Jackson today likes the Minnesota Timberwolves -the 7.5. It says it's a premier situational spot, a situational spread. I'm sorry, hold on. This is a premier situational fade of the day. The Memphis Grizzlies are playing their second game in less than 24 hours after a physical battle against the New Orleans Pelicans last night. Compounding the fatigue is a catastrophic injury report that has stripped Memphis of its core identity with Ja Morant, Zach Edey, Brandon Clark, Scottie Pippen Jr. all ruled out. The Grizzlies are forced to rely on deep bench rotations against a rested elite Minnesota squad. So it says that the Timberwolves enter the game as one of the most balanced teams in the league, ranking 10th in both offensive and defensive rating. The defense is particularly daunting for a tired Grizzlies team. Minnesota ranks 5th in points allowed per 100 possessions at 112.3. They're 4th in effective field goal percentage allowed at 52.9. Without Ja Morant's rim pressure and Zach Edey's interior presence, Memphis lacks the personnel to collapse Minnesota's disciplined defensive shell. So there's some other stuff here as well, but that's the first look. The second one is the Houston Rockets -10 against the Dallas Mavericks here. It says that the confidence level is high on this one. So it looks like 4 out of 5 stars. The first one is a 5 out of 5 stars, the Timberwolves play. So this one says the situation. While neither team is on a back-to-back, the situational advantage for Houston is driven by a roster vacuum in Dallas. The Mavs are missing 3 of their most vital components, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Derek Lively. Houston, meanwhile, has been a statistical juggernaut at home and enter this game fully rested and healthy, save for long-term absences. I don't know if I agree with that part. I don't think that they're completely healthy, but we'll talk about it. So it says matchup and analysis here. Rockets are the most physical team in the NBA, leading the league in total rebounds at 49.2 per game and offensive rebound percentage at 39.2. This creates a nightmare scenario for Dallas team missing their primary rim protectors in Anthony Davis and Derek Lively. Houston's ability to generate second chance opportunities is elite, ranking number 1 in putback points per miss, 28.8. Dallas is currently ranking 27th at offensive rating, 110.3. Without Kyrie Irving's shot making and Anthony Davis gravity, their half-court offense becomes stagnant. Houston's defense, which ranks 3rd in points per possession allowed, 112.1, is designed to switch and disrupt rhythm. News reports indicate that Dallas is struggling to find consistent scoring options outside of their primary stars, and facing the top 5 Rockets defense on the road is the worst possible get-right spot. Houston should bully Dallas on the interior and cover the double-digit spread through sheer volume and possessions. So those are the 2 looks for Jackson for today, man. Let's jump into the games that we have on the board. Again, link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Jackson. So we got a 12 o'clock start time game. This game starts in about 35 minutes, I think. About 35 minutes. I see the line right now listed as Spurs laying 4, and total looks like it's about 227.5. And I spent some time on this game last night. So let's go through the injury report really quickly. We have just get to the top. I think everybody is pretty much in for on the Charlotte side of things. Let me just double check real quick. I think everybody's in on the Charlotte side of things, and San Antonio doesn't have anybody on the injury report either. They just got Devin Vassell back in that last game. So, yeah, only Jeremy Sohan is out and Plumlee is listed as out. So, interestingly enough, I kind of feel like the total's priced where it should be, 227.5. I really want to get there on an under. That was the first thing that kind of stuck out to me, is that Charlotte has been playing some pretty good defense. I wrote this total down at 225 last night as well. Charlotte's been playing some really good defense. 5 straight wins for them. They're 7-3 against the number, 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games. It is the first home game back after a 2-game road trip. And they've been profitable as dogs this season, 22, 14, and 1 against the number as a dog this season. I actually was looking this up, just going a little bit more in depth. As home dogs against non-conference opponents, they're 4-2 against the spread as well. They've covered 3 straight against the Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Warriors. And then when they're home dogs in general, getting less than 2 possessions, so 5 points or less, they're 5-4-1 against the number, covering 56% of the time. They did lose to the Cavs in this most recent game, but they have some covers here, some recent covers for sure. On the San Antonio side of things, it is first leg of back-to-back. They got a game in Orlando tomorrow. They're 9-1 to the under in their last 10 games, 5 straight unders for them. If this wasn't an early start time game, I would be on the under here. I would be on the under. The early start time games have not been going under this season. So I want to give you guys some numbers that I was looking at. So weekend games, I looked at weekend games specifically before the All-Star break, because it's typically less defense played before the All-Star break. So weekend games, Saturday or Sunday, before the All-Star break, the games that start early, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or earlier, or actually before 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or earlier, they go under about 53% of the time. This dates all the way back to 2008. However, this season, early start time games are actually 17-8 to the over, 68%. We just lost one of these when we played the MLK Day games with Atlanta and Indiana. The game flew over the total. If it's a non-conference game in same parameters, right? Non-conference game before the All-Star break, weekend before 4 o'clock, those games are 10-2 to the over this season. That won't let me take an under here. All of the trends say under, though. I'll give you guys some more trends that I was looking at for the unders as well. So I looked at Spurs as road favorites in non-conference games, 4-1 to the under, averaging 225. It looks like 226. So 4 straight unders here. They went under against the Celtics. They went under against the Pacers. They went under against the Wizards. They went under against the Hawks. Hornets as home dogs, 4-2 to the under. These games average right at 228 as well. 2 of the last 3 have gone under. Hornets is rolled as home dogs, getting 5 or less, 7-3 to the under. These games average 225 points as well, back-to-back unders against the Raptors and the Cavs. It feels like the game should go under, but I feel like I've seen this movie too many times before. So I think I'm going to stay away from the total. I had another strong query that was on fading Charlotte and taking the under as well, and that is looking at teams that are that were getting less than 5 points, that were laying less than 5. They won the game by less than 5. Those games have gone under at a pretty alarming rate as well, about 60%, but it's 70% this season, but 60% since the COVID season. So I think I'm gonna stay away from all of that. The one player prop that I really like in this game is actually gonna take you guys to this one so you can see it. I was looking at a couple things that stand out to me. So the first one is Miles Bridges, points, rebounds, and assists. I think you just combine all of them here in this spot. So Miles Bridges this season, we know Grant Williams came back about 2 weeks ago, and with Grant Williams being back, he's seen a lot less value. So I like the Bridges underlook here. You can see these are his games that he's played with Bridges this season, and you can see there's a common trend here: 27 points, rebounds, and assists against the Jazz, 37 points, rebounds, and assists against the Lakers, 27 points, rebounds, and assists against the Washington Wizards, and 29 against the Memphis Grizzlies. So the common theme is that if he's playing against a bad team, you take him over. But if he's playing against a good team, he's gone under this number. So against the Clippers, only 18 points, rebounds, and assists. Against the Warriors, only 15 points, rebounds, and assists. Against the Cavs, 13 points, rebounds, and assists. And against the Philadelphia 76ers, only 16 points, rebounds, and assists here. So these are the games with Grant Williams. You can see that he's averaged right at 22. But if we take out, these other games, he's going under this number a lot more. So I kind of like this. He also, and I was looking at his usage, it actually has went down a lot as well with them guys being back. And then just the way he scores the basketball, he gets a lot of his points in the paint, of course. 35% of his points come in the paint. San Antonio top 5, in points allowed in the paint with Wemby down there. So I like the Miles Bridges under 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists look. Spurs also don't give up a ton of rebounds. They don't give up a ton of assists either. He doesn't get a ton of assists. So you can see the potentials are not high here. The rebound chances have not been that high either, especially against good rebounding teams. Minutes goes down. I think it's like 3 or 4 less minutes as well. So yeah, 5. Actually 5. I wrote it in my notes. 5 less minutes for Mikal Bridges. So this is the one that I think I like the most in this game. Those are my thoughts on the first game. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. What's up, Judge Jay? He says, interesting week, but we're going to be all right. That's why bankroll discipline is key. That's a fact. It's an absolute fact. What's up, DJ? Appreciate you for tapping in. Morning saturated. Real Talks to Jackson has been selling me. I'm not sure. Jackson actually, what did I write down? See, 3-1 in the last 4 plays. If you catch Jackson not playing OKC, you typically been finding ways to make some money for sure. Mark says Charlotte plus 4.5. Sprinkle money line plus 154. Okay. PZ says top of the morning game. Pistons money got to the window last night. Yeah, I needed that, PZ. I needed that for sure. What's up, 77 Figures? He says great morning, tough card today. Looking forward to Shakir versus Tefimo. I think is how you pronounce that. Teofimo. I think it's how you pronounce that. Must be some fighting or something. I don't know about that. Real Talk like the Spurs minus the 4. Mark says I do also lean under. Go Spurs, go. Hornets about to get clamped up. Go under. I like the under too. Mark says interesting trend. The San Antonio games are 11-0 to the under, following a game in which they recorded 16 threes or more. SDQL Guru. Okay. I can see that. Yeah, I like under. I don't know. If it starts off early, maybe I'll play the under then. When I was looking into this game last night, I thought under in Spurs. Spurs have been a little shaky, in my opinion, as of late. But I mean, all right. So here's the numbers, right? So Spurs last 5 games, they're averaging 112 points, giving up 106. That's 218. Hornets last 5 games, 121 to 104. So they're averaging 225. Number one offensive rated team. San Antonio's the sixth best defensive rated team. So you expect Charlotte to struggle to score the basketball a little bit. Charlotte's also fifth in defensive rating, and San Antonio's sixth in defensive rating. So, I mean, both of these teams have been playing really good. Charlotte's second in efficiency differential, and the San Antonio Spurs are fifth in efficiency differential. I think they both have equal rest. They're both coming off pretty impressive wins. Charlotte had to, come back in that game against Dallas the other night. They didn't cover the spread, won the game by 2. They were laying 3. And San Antonio, of course, the last time we saw them play was the game that they came back against the Houston Rockets as well, right? I think that was the last game that they played, the game against Houston, where they were right. They were down to Houston. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I know I wasn't tripping. Yeah, they were down to Houston going into that fourth quarter, and then turned the water off on Houston in the second half, in the fourth quarter specifically. Gave up 13 points in the fourth quarter. DJ says thoughts on Castle over his 19.5 points and assists. Don't really have any, DJ. I didn't really look too deeply into Castle. Saturates is scared to step in front of the Hornets. What's up, Gohu? Says last 5 Hornets wins are against bad defenses. They shouldn't score that comfortably here. San Antonio brings them back down to earth, in my opinion. I kind of agree with that. I like San Antonio. I don't know if I want to lay the number, though. I do kind of agree with that, though. Let's see real quick. All right, so let's go. Let's see if there's some. Let's look at the Hornets' last few games. All right, so Hornets got a win against the Mavs. They won by 2. They gave up 121, scored 123. They beat the Grizzlies. Everybody's doing that. They beat the Sixers, though. That's a pretty big win against the Sixers. 130 to 1-93. Oh, yeah, that was the last time they were at home, and they were laying 2 in that spot. Philly was on the first leg of a back-to-back and bounced back in the next game, I think. They beat the Wizards before that, didn't cover the number, and then they beat the Magic as well, smoked the Magic. That was the Magic first game back after the trip, though. They also, before that, they lost to the Cavs. Okay, so I'm in kind of agreement with that. I think under is the right play. I think under is the right play. The problem is this is the lowest total that Charlotte has been involved in since the Magic game at 225. So I think you make some valid points here. Let's see. Malik says kind of square, but Wemby boards. The Charlotte Hornets have been the best rebounding team in the NBA. That's something we got to take into consideration. I think they've been a better rebounding team than even the Houston Rockets in their last 5 games. So take that with what it's worth. Diabate out there, cleaning up the glass for sure. Him, Bridges, all those guys. LaMelo's a good rebounder. Brandon Miller's a good rebounder. Brenner off the bench. All right, so some more Charlotte love. Adam says, Chris, what's up, man? What's up, Adam? Hope all is well with you. Mark says he sees 3.5 now. What's up, Block? Appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Free Sauce? My guy, he says he like when it's on the money line here. Okay. I love to hear that, Adam. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Okay. Lock says I like Fox assists. What do you think, Chris? The Hornets are let's see real quick. I'll look into Fox assists. This is something I didn't look into. 5.5 is the number. It's juice, minus 138. I see a minus 122 on FanDuel. He's over in 4 of his last 6 games. Let's see what his potentials look like. Potentials 13. Don't see nothing here. Hornets allowed their bottom 10 in assists allowed. He gets a bunch of his assists at the rim. Hornets do give up points at the rim. 22nd in restricted area defense. But let's look at these last couple games. I feel like the defense has been better. So yeah, last 5 games, they give up the 13 fewest assists. I would like to see, let me just factor in Castle playing, Harper in, Wemby in, Vassell's back now. Let's see. Over in 6 of his 10 games, averaging right at 6 assists per game with Castle, Harper, Wemby, and Vassell in. Let's just look at his splits for home versus road. At home, over in 2 of 4. On the road, over in 4 of 6. So he has a 4 assist game in here against OKC, a 9 assist game against the Knicks, 8 assist game against Atlanta, 6 assist game against the Wizards, 3 assist game against the OKC Thunder. So if he's not playing against OKC on the road and he has his full troops, he has gone over in every single game. The 2 unders came against OKC, which we know they don't give up a ton of assists. He had 8 against the Houston Rockets. Someone told me if you can get 8 against the Rockets, you can get 6 against the Charlotte Hornets defense as well. So I guess I would lean over with you here on Fox assists. It seems like a pretty good look. Over 5.5 looks like -122 on FanDuel is the best number lot. What's up, Prolific? Says good afternoon, Chris. We're gonna be on here while the game starts. I wasn't planning on doing that. I was trying to be quick, but yeah, I guess we are. Steven says, do you think early game start time games give them advantage to the Hornets? Let's see real quick. So I don't think so though. I feel like so historically, home dogs playing early games don't win. They don't cover either. They win 34% of the time. They cover 37% of the time. This season, home dogs are 4-9 straight up. They are 7-6 against the number. If we just look at this post-COVID, they are not profitable straight up or not profitable against the spread. But you also would need to factor in some other stuff as well. Like I would look at before the All-Star break, 29-20 straight up. I would also look at teams getting a really short number of 5 or less. Those teams are 9-15 straight up and 11-12-1 against the number. So they're covering about 47% of the time. These games are 16-8 to the over since COVID and 6-2 to the over this season. That's what keeps me off the under. That keeps me off the under, even though I think this game should go under. If it landed 228, I'd be pissed. Not gonna lie. So I think I'm gonna stay away from this one. Let's see. If the total's less than 230, 12-7 to the over and 4-2 to the over. Game's going over by about 5 points. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay away from this one, man. Paul George got suspended for 25 games. Yeah, tripping. For real? Oh, wow. Paul George did get suspended for 25 games. That's a kind of a random lie anyway. I know you wouldn't make that up for yourself. So I'm like, what? That's crazy. Anti-drug program. Wow. All right, I got to look into that a little bit more. Yeah, I got to look into that a little bit more. Damn, that's crazy. Let's see what else y'all saying here. I think Kelly got the most benefit from it. Free sauce. VJ gonna be in the starting lineup regardless. Kelly Oubre minutes about to go up. He's the person that can replace PG. I guess has the most comparable skill set in my opinion. Let's see. Saturated said, what kind of drugs they use? I have no idea. All right, let's keep going. In this game, if I'm playing, the player prop. Bridges under. Let me just see where it is. I kind of do want to put a play in on this game before it starts. Is it still 25.5? Yeah, on DraftKings right now. Let me see if I can find it. I kind of want to put a play in real quick before the game starts. Let me just go to the game. Just make sure the line hasn't moved. Yeah, I'm actually gonna play this. Yeah, I'm gonna play this. I am going to play Bridget real quick. I just need to send it to the members. All right. -1. Minus 117 on DraftKings right now. I like it. I like it. All right. Let me just send this out to the members and then we'll get to the rest of the games. It's an ugly slate, if I'm being completely honest. I'm trying to find some stuff. I think there's a couple plays to make, but it's an ugly slate. And the injury report don't help any. All right, let's go to the next game. We have the Pelicans and the 76ers. So news just broke in this one, of course, that Paul George will not be playing, it sounds like. Philly didn't have anybody else on the injury report outside of Quentin Grimes, who's listed as probable. The Pelicans, of course, can submit their injury report late because they did play last night. They beat the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think everybody was available in that game for them. So I posted this on Twitter earlier for people who are following. There was a trend that I found on the over. I'm not really sure how I feel about that trend. I guess I probably still like it, but this is one I feel like you kind of got to wait for the injury report on. So the total of this game is 232.5. It has gone up, I think, a little bit. Come down, I'm sorry. 234 is what it opened at. It looks like it's come down to 231.5 on DraftKings now. This might be the most recent news. The spread has also come down to 9.5. So you got the Pelicans on the second leg of back-to-back. They've been impressive recently. 4-0 against the spread in their last 4. 5-1. Probably should have played them last night. Didn't get there. 5-1 to the under in their last 6 games. So defensively, we talked about this yesterday. Defensively, they've been a little bit better. But can they slow down this Philly team that will be without Paul George today? So on the Philadelphia side of things, it is 4th and 6. They have not been good at home. Only 11-15-1 against the number. Third straight home game for them. Back-to-back wins, but they've only covered 4 of their last 6 games. So Philly has not been doing the greatest job of covering these really big numbers. And if you go through their last, handful of games, it's really just been the defense. Last 5 games, they are 27th in defensive rating. They're giving up 119 points per game. I think the Pelicans can score in this game. I think both teams will be able to score the basketball. The trend that I shared this morning was an over trend. It was a non-conference game where there's an unrested team that was recently at home and now they're on the road, and it's a weekend. 73% to the over says that this game goes over the total. Maybe you wait, see if it comes down even more now that Paul George is not in. Make sure that the Pelicans players are in, and I like this game to go over. Philly is double-digit home favorites. Are 3-1 to the over as well. Those games are going over by average of 14 points. They're finishing about 242 this season. But the Pels, as double-digit road dogs, are 6-4 to the under, having stayed under the total in 4 straight games. So Zion should be able to get downhill in this game. I think he should be able to live in the paint if he plays, even on the second leg of a back-to-back. We've seen him be pretty impressive on the second leg of back-to-backs. Trey Murphy also in a big bounce-back spot. I think he was 0 for 7 from the three-point line last night. I think the Pels offense can bring it, and this game goes over the total. But I do want to confirm that the Pelicans players are going to be in, and I do want to confirm. I do want to let the total drop a little bit more, probably, and we'll see where it goes from there. So that's my thought process on this game. Zion points, I think, are a really good look. Philly, like I said, they've just been giving it up. They've allowed 119 points in their last 5 games. For whatever reason, at home, their defense has not been as good. But I do think that they'll be able to score against this Pelicans defense as well. So over would be my thought process here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. What up, J-Man? Appreciate you for tapping in. As always, that last play was Miles Bridges under 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists, or 25.5, whatever the number was. I think it was 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Smoke says Spurs -3. Is that number dropping that low? I don't see threes. I see 4.5s. And Dan says Embiid definitely over without Paul George. More minutes. Embiid's been hooping for sure. I didn't play the Hornets, Jay Carter. I might play the game live, but I kind of think it's a San Antonio spot. But also, like, not enough conviction to play it. Both of these teams came back in their last game. The total's actually going up now. 228.5 I see on DraftKings. So yeah, I'm probably gonna play the total live though. J-Man says Maxey averages 33 with no PG, but with Embiid, I think is what that means. I think both teams should be able to score, Brian. I don't know if I would isolate the 76ers team total over, especially with the Pelicans defense playing, I guess, a little bit better as of late. I do expect them to be in a big letdown spot tonight, though. Breesaw says Embiid first quarter points over 8.5. He's playing the first full quarter. He's been killing in that spot. And, Derek Queen is good. Not on defense. He's not, though. Barbecue chicken alert. I can agree with that for sure. All right, let's keep going. Hit the like if you can. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not, for the Saturday and weekend shows. And let's keep going. So Timberwolves and Grizzlies up next. Line is up to 8. Looks like 8.5 are popping up now. This was at 7 yesterday. And I couldn't play it. First thing I didn't like in this game was that it's a lot not to like in this game. So first thing I didn't like was that the Timberwolves were playing against the Grizzlies again on Monday. So rematch on Monday. It's also 5th game in 7 nights for the Timberwolves. They were off yesterday, but they've been playing some crazy back-to-backs as of late. They're only 11-13 against the spread on the road. They do have 3 straight wins and 3 straight covers, but they this is my case for not betting on the Timberwolves. I wanted to see like how they play after playing OKC. I tweeted this out yesterday, the other day. You'll never see now Drummond's been downgraded to questionable. That's even more scoring in my opinion. Less rebounding, more scoring. I wanted to see how the Timberwolves play after getting up for a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, because we know that they typically, they get up for those Thunder games. They've covered all 3. Anthony always talks about taking them personal. And to see if there's a little bit of a letdown spot after they play OKC. And that's what the numbers show. They are 2-0 straight up, but they're 0-2 against the spread when they play again, after, games against OKC. For context, they were laying 6 against the Celtics, won the game by 4. They were laying 12.5 against the Bucks and won the game by 3. So I don't feel like I can trust the Timberwolves to lay this big of a number. Now, on the other side, the Grizzlies have been one of the worst teams in the NBA. When I was looking into the Grizzlies, they were, absolutely abysmal. And they're unrested, of course, as well. Let's see real quick. So the Grizzlies are, if you take out the game that Ja came back where they were in London, they're 1-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 games. Offensively, they've really, really struggled. They've been held under their team total in their last 3 games. Even against the Pelicans, they got to 106. The Hornets, they got to 97. Against the Rockets, they got to 99. The Timberwolves are a top 10 defensive team. I just don't really feel like I can trust the Timberwolves laying points here in this spot, especially not 8 with the line being at 7. But it's a game where I kind of feel like goes under. The problem with the under is that the Grizzlies defense has been so bad. And we know that the Timberwolves just want to shoot a bunch of threes. So somebody on the Timberwolves to hit some threes, I guess, is the way that I would look in this game. The Grizzlies are the 5th worst effective efficiency differential team. They're 25th in defensive rating, 24th in offensive rating in their last 5 games. So Timberwolves look super easy in this spot. I won't be laying points with them. They are 2nd best defensive rated team in their last 5 games. The Grizzlies just can't score the basketball for whatever reason. So maybe a Memphis team total under, maybe just a full game to go under the 229 is the way that I would look in this game. For the Grizzlies, the second leg of back-to-back as well. Only 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. 5 straight losses, only 1 cover in their last 6. We talked about that as well. And his 4th game in 6 nights as well. So not a game that I think I'm going to be touching. Just wanted to give you guys the breakdown of why I couldn't take the Timberwolves in this spot. Let's see. Any thoughts here? Looks like none. I don't see any comments unless I'm not live anymore. Yeah, I don't see any comments here. So we'll push through. There's one more game I want to talk about, and that's the Mavs and the Rockets. So lining this one is at 10. It looks like 10.5 is consensus. Open 12.5. So a little bit of money coming in on Dallas. Total has dropped from 226 down to 222.5. I see it as low as, but also I see it 224, 223, 223.5 as well. So on the Houston side of things, so injury report in this one, Dallas, always got to look at their injury report. Dallas has Gafford in. Looks like Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving are the only players that won't play. And then on the Houston side of things, Fred VanVleet and Sengun are both listed as out. I'm not Sengun, I'm sorry. Steven Adams are both listed as out. The Houston Rockets are coming off a game where they did bounce back against Atlanta, but this makes this 3rd and 4 and 4th and 6 for them. And this was after losing to the San Antonio Spurs, of course. They're 8-2 to the under in their last 10, only 8-12 against the spread at home in general. And the Dallas Mavericks, they're also playing 3rd and 4. They're only 6-13 against the spread on the road. They're losers of 3 straight. First road game after 4 straight home games. They came close to beating the Charlotte Hornets in that game that Cooper Flagg, got busy in. Couple things I looked at. So the first thing that jumps out to me in this matchup is that the Houston Rockets are better than the Dallas Mavericks. But for whatever reason, every time they played each other this season, the Houston Rockets have not showed up. So I vividly remember the first game where the Rockets were laying points in Dallas. Dallas, at home as a dog. The Rockets were playing 5th game in 7 nights. I thought they would potentially cover the spread. They lost the game outright. Got smoked in that game, actually. And then the most recent game, the Rockets just didn't show up against the Mavericks in that game either. So one thing I wanted to see was how do double-digit home favorites do when they're have double in-season revenge. And it's been pretty good. 64% ATS says that the Rockets cover this game. That's a league-wide trend, of course. And that trend is also 2-0 to the under this season. Dallas, I looked at them as double-digit dogs. They are double-digit road dogs. They're 3-2-1 against the spread. So they have been, I guess, slightly profitable. And just recently, they are just kind of back and forth. They got a cover against the Hornets. They were getting, 3.5 points in that spot. Lost to the Timberwolves, didn't come close in that game, but they were without Cooper Flagg in that game. Luka came back, absolutely smoked them in that game as well. They were getting 4, lost the game by 6. They don't have too many double-digit losses as of late outside of the Timberwolves game. So it's really, really difficult, in my opinion, to want to fade them. As road dogs, they are 2-0 to the under. Maybe just a look towards their team total under, thinking that the Rockets will play a little bit of defense here. I think that Cooper Flagg could be in for I think if you're Ime Udoka, you got to make sure that somebody outside of Cooper Flagg can beat you. So I really wanted to see what Cooper Flagg points were. 19.5 coming off a 49-point game. So the books, they're not going to give us any kind of not any kind of a discount on, putting Cooper Flagg points too high. They're just not going to do it. He was listed at he closed last game at 19.5 and finished with 49 points. In the 2 matchups this season against the Houston Rockets, or 3 matchups this season, my fault. He hasn't gone over his 20 points at all. 12, 19, and 10 in those matchups. 3 for 12 in the last game, 7 for 15 in the game before that, and 5 for 10 in the game before that. So Cooper Flagg has been hooping as of late, but I kind of feel like they make it really difficult on Cooper Flagg today. He has been rebounding the ball really well. He has 4 straight games with at least 7 rebounds. His rebound prop listed at 5.5. But and then one of those games against the Charlotte Hornets, the last game was Hornets are a pretty good rebounding team. So are the Lakers. So maybe a potential look towards his rebounds over. But I think Cooper finds it hard to score the basketball today. I would imagine him and Thompson, shadowing him. And something tells me Houston probably wants this one with double revenge. having lost both games to the Dallas Mavericks so far this season. So that's my thought process on this one. Any other thoughts here? Same, Brian. I'm afraid to bet this one too. Smoke says Sengun over his rebounds. That makes a ton of sense in my opinion. The Mavs are like maybe even taking. I talked about this last game. I didn't play it, but I talked about taking Daniel Gafford under his boards. I think he was listed at 6.5. He finished with 5. I finished with 4 against the Hornets. The Hornets are the best rebounding team in the NBA as of late, and the Houston Rockets right behind them. Right, so Houston. Even without Steven Adams, I think that they'll still do a really good job. Daniel Gafford rebounds, though, is down to 5.5. So probably don't like that one as much, but I kind of feel like his minutes have been he hasn't really played more than 25 minutes as of late. So I think you probably could cap him about 25 minutes in this game. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to play somebody on the team to go under their boards. Him, PJ Washington, Najee, somebody. I don't know. What y'all think about this one? Jakarta has been back and forth in this game. Kind of seemed like the Rockets laying too many points. Initially, that's what I thought as well. And maybe they still are. I'm not sold on Houston minus the points in this game. I think Dallas has been feisty as a road dog. Last time they were getting this many points, they went into New York and won that game outright. But I don't really want to bet against the double revenge. That's my thought process. Adam says faded Cooper under his points and assists off the insane night. That makes a ton of sense. What is that line? 3.5 assists, I think, is what he's listed at. So what, 23.5? That makes sense in my opinion. Adam says Sengun over his rebounds and assists. I feel like every time I bet on Sengun assists, he don't do anything. But his rebounds make a lot of sense in my opinion. Sengun rebounds 8.5. He's gone over in 3 straight games. And the Dallas Mavericks are not a great rebounding team. Not a great rebounding team at all. Let's just see something real quick. So rebounds allowed, they give up the third most rebounds allowed. So Sengun over his 8.5 boards makes a ton of sense here. DraftKings got his super juiced at minus 144. I would probably just look for Sengun double-double, honestly, because you probably can get better value there. Double-double is minus 105 on DraftKings right now. Let's see. In the head-to-head matchups, he has one double-double. So he finished with 26 and 11 on the game that they played back on the 3rd of November. And then in the most recent game, he got hurt. He played 1 minute. So, of course, he didn't get a double-double in that game. I kind of like this Sengun double-double look. It makes a ton of sense in my opinion. I'm going to probably write that down. I'm going to write that down. That's why we do the show. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like the Sengun double-double look for sure. 77 Figure says familiarity breeds contempt. A division matchup here. Rockets zigzag, home road, home funky schedule, Mavs plus the 10.5. Top play of the day. So he don't think the double revenge means anything. That is some I kind of feel like the other thing I want to look at is I forgot about this being divisional. I knew it was divisional. So I know double-digit home favorites in divisional games during the regular season typically go under. I just want to see recently. Yeah, 16-8 to the under this season. This total has already dropped, and that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, so 66% to the under this season. Just go back to COVID, post-COVID. Yeah, 54% to the under since COVID. If you got a double-digit favorite double-digit home favorite in the divisional game. Like I said, it's been an under trend as of late. So last season, this was 66. This season is 66% to the under. Last season, it was 64% to the under. The season before that, 2023, was 54% to the under as well. So it has been a very, very strong under trend. Under, and I don't know if I can lay 10 with the Rockets right now either, honestly. I like the double revenge spot. I'm not sure. Let's real quick, one more thing. Let's just see. Let me just look at the Rockets with revenge this season. So they are just 3-6 against the number. 8-1 to the under, though. And the last 8 have actually gone under the total. These games are averaging 218 points. Now let's add that they have double in-season revenge. Two and one straight up, 2-1 against the spread. They beat the Nuggets. They lost to the Nuggets, then beat the Nuggets, and then beat the Pistons recently. Yeah, I remember that. That was last week. 2-1 to the under. These games are averaging 218 points. Let's look at the Mavs. Road dogs in a game playing a team that they previously beat. They are 0-1 straight up, 0-1 against the Spurs. They were getting 2.5 against the Blazers and lost that game by 3. So they've been pretty profitable in this spot. 1-0 to the over as well. Okay, all right. I got some more thinking to do on this game. Let's see. Adam says Jabari Smith double plus 600. Tari Eason threes at plus money. Durant to get 30. Cooper under his points for Jeremy. Sengun double minus 102 on FanDuel earlier. I like that, Adam. I think I'm gonna bet that. Durant told he got to score more, so I've been riding with that. Okay, J-Man likes the KD points look. Targeting these 3 ladders today because of high volume. Bam and Siakam played them both up to 4. Tari over 1.5 threes for free sauce at 7-8 without Adams this year, averaging 2.6. Okay. The Dallas Mavericks are one of the better three-point defenses in the NBA. So Tari, if he can get the looks, he definitely can knock him down though. All right, cool. Let's get into the other games, the ones I didn't talk about. Been on here for forever. Still ain't get through all the games. And it's only what, 1 game, 2 games? So the reason I didn't go over these games because of the injury report. Atlanta and Indiana, 1.5 point spread. With Atlanta landing 1.5 on the road. Total has come down from 233.5 down to 232.5, it looks like. I wrote 234.5 in my notes last night as well. So maybe that means that Jalen Johnson is not going to play. He is on the injury report listed as questionable. Same thing for Zachary Reese-Shea, who hasn't played in quite a while either. Real quick, let me just check so Indiana only has Obi Toppin listed as out. So a couple of things that stand out to me. Atlanta, this is 3rd and 4th, 4th and 6th. They have been better on the road, 16-11 against the number, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5, both against the spread and straight up. And they lost that game on the second leg of a back-to-back to Houston. And I forgot to mention, they got some other guys, Okongwu and who got his teeth knocked out. And then Porzingis as well, both listed as out. So you got Koloko out there playing the center position. It feels like that's not a lot of rim protection. The problem is, do the Pacers really want to get to the rim and score? That made me think Siakam over his points was the right side in this game, but I didn't play that. The Pacers 15-10 against the spread at home. They are 7-3 to the under in their last 10 games. Atlanta has won both games so far this season. Both of them went over the total. Atlanta covered both of them as well. Indiana has double-digit in-season revenge. They got smoked in that last game. It was actually last Saturday, or whenever Martin Luther King Jr. Day was. I think that was the 18th. And I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. So trend that I found here was fade of the Pacers. And it was teams that were getting less than 3 points or more than 3 points. Hold on, who am I fading here? Fade Indiana, fade Indiana. Maybe that's wrong. Yeah, no, that's right. So yeah, fade Indiana. They were laying less than 3. They won the game by less than 3. Since COVID, that's 54%. Since 2021, it's actually 61%. I'm sorry, not since 2021. This season is 61%. So fading the team off the hard-fought game. I also found the trend on the over, which is pretty much the same trend. And I add that it's a weekend game, and it's a 56% trend towards the over, 12-4 to the over this season, 75%. So this is post-COVID. Says that the team that played really good defense is probably tired in their last game. So take the Atlanta team total over. Can't do that without Jalen Johnson, though, in my personal opinion. Also, Nembhard, looking at his assists, 7.5, a little pricey. It was minus 136 earlier, but when they played just less than 2 weeks ago, he had 13 potential. I'm sorry, he had 20 potential and 13 assists. So 7.5 feels pretty low. He averages right at 7.5 on the season. So right at the number, he gets a plus matchup with the Hawks defense that do their bottom 10 in assists allowed. And they don't have a true center today outside of Koloko. So I looked at the average, which is 13.5 for his potential assists on the season, but he averages 15.3 in games where he has both Benedict Mathurin and Neesmith. I think those pieces are important when you think about him being able to get assists. And he's over in 4 straight games of 5 of his last 6. So Nembhard was on my card as well. I didn't play it. And I think that is Chicago and Miami. That total is only continuing to come down. Miami's up to 6.5 now, and a large part of that is due to the injury report. So I think Giddey is listed as doubtful. Kobe White got ruled out. Vucevic I also saw listed as doubtful, and then Jalen Smith I think got ruled out as well. Let me just see if I can find him. Yeah, Giddey is out. Yeah, I said it. I think I said everything right. Davion Mitchell listed as doubtful as well. No Tyler Hero and Norman Powell listed as out. So the total coming down, I think, is the right side. You've missed, 6 points of value already if you haven't gotten in already. I had a trend that says to fade Miami. I can't do that, not with the injury report here. I think the under is the right play. I don't think I wrote this down in my notes, but I had a strong trend on the under in this game as well. Just can't remember exactly what it was. It was, let me see if I can find it real quick. Quick revenge game, less than 5 days. Line is stronger than the previous line. The total is lower than the previous total. 59% to the under. This season looks like it's 57% to the under. And post-COVID, it is, and these are regular season games, of course. Post-COVID, it is 57% to the under overall. So yeah, that just takes Bulls and the Heat game under. They're missing a ton of offense in this game. 2 fast-paced teams, but they're missing a ton of offense in this game. So I guess under would be the play for me in that game. So those are my thoughts. Let's go through the comments real quick and see what you guys are thinking. Then we're gonna jump off here. I'm about to turn that Charlotte game on. What we got early? 15-13. Charlotte is winning. 15-10. Charlotte's winning. 17-16. My score keep updating. So I'm guessing they're shooting the ball pretty well. Yeah, Charlotte's shooting 70% from the field. San Antonio shooting 56% from the field. Both teams 100% and 50% from the three-point line. This tells me that the game will eventually threes will eventually start to not fall because the Spurs not going to shoot 100% from the three-point line. And Charlotte, I don't expect to shoot 50% from the three-point line. So, yeah, I'll be looking for a live under in that game, especially with both defenses being pretty good. Who is killing it like that? Let's see. Devin Vassell's 2 for 2. Champagne's hit 1. De'Aaron Fox has hit 1. Castle got 3 assists already. Bridges has hit 1. He got 5 points and an assist. LaMelo has hit 2 for 2. Oh yes, that game definitely going under. I don't trust LaMelo to hit the ball, shoot the ball consistent. That's that consistent. All right, let's see. Chicago team total under. I can see that as well. Saturated says Hornets come out swinging. They typically do it and they run out of gas. Adam says Nembhard 10 assists. Just look at the potentials lately. It's crazy. I said the same thing. I may get there. I just don't want to lay the juice. So maybe I'll get there with him to get 9 assists instead of laying the juice on the 8 and just playing for a smaller wager. Saturated says this seems like the kind of game Neesmith could score in. I agree with that. Indiana about to be as healthy as they gonna be. I'm on them. Okay. Like Dyson Daniel over his 13.5 points. Siakam 4+ assists. 9 straight games for J-Man. Some good call outs here. Really good call outs here. 237.5 right now, Brian says. This is why you wait, right? And here's I'm gonna give y'all some sauce. So when I send out live totals to the members, like I've been betting live for a really long time now. It feels like you never like you don't really want to take it like in quarter. Teams typically run really, really hot for the whole quarter, and then the adjustments seem like they get made, and then you take it. So if you remember, when I send out totals, it's typically at the end of the first quarter at halftime, or most time I'll send them out in the third quarter, but like end of the first quarter, end of halftime, and also make sure that you like size in to these plays, right? So like for example, if you're a $100 bettor and you want to play this total to go under, it don't necessarily mean you got to bet $100. If you want to bet one unit, you don't have to bet $100 at the end of the first quarter. You can bet $50 at the end of the first quarter and then see what happens in the second quarter. Because sometimes it takes a whole half for teams to make the adjustment, and then you go under that total as well. So then you kind of average in, and you're not playing the full unit at the same time. It's something that I at least like to do. So that's my thought process. But I will be looking at that total to go under. Probably in the first quarter and full game as well. These teams, I know that the Spurs on the first leg of a back-to-back. I don't think the defense should just go out the window like that. And the 237.5 are gone. It looks like it's come back down to 235.5 on FanDuel right now. But yeah, all right. So I got to get off here. I got to go watch the game. So real quick recap. This is old from yesterday. But what we talked about today that I do like, the only thing I played so far is the Bridges under 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's official. But the only other thing that I have, the other plays that we talked about, let's go through them real quick. So, Atlanta, Indiana, nothing. I need to see what's going to happen with Jalen Johnson. Nembhard over his assists, though. We just talked about that. 7.5 assists. I would probably just play him at 9, honestly, because I don't want the juice on that. Minus 136, a little too much for me. New Orleans and Philly, I would like to take over. I'll wait to see who New Orleans rules out, but I want to take New Orleans and Philly over. I think 231.5 was the best number you could get. Minnesota and Memphis, if I had to play that game, I would be looking towards Minnesota, Memphis to go under the total. But again, they do play again on Monday, so I'm probably going to stay away from that game. Chicago, Miami, I think the best look is under, but that total has moved a lot. And then Dallas and Houston, I really like the Sengun look. Sengun double-double. I think it was plus 102. No, it wasn't plus. It was minus 102, I think, was that number. So Sengun, double-double. I have not played it yet, but I think I will play Sengun double-double in this spot. I want to fade Cooper as well. It's a tough slate today. I'll be honest with you guys. It's definitely a tough slate, but hopefully the show was helpful, man. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Best of luck on your action for today, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I am out. Resources, of course, always listed in the description as well. Forgot to share that. Jackson, Outlier, Moneyballer, Eyes Jam. Now I'm out. Hit the like button on the way out, man. Catch you guys in the next one.